Recording in progress.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, magandang gabi po mga katipon sa Pilipinas. Ito po ang Ating Katipunan. Muling sumasa inyo mga tagapakinig upang magbigay ng mga halagang impormasyon, magbigay liwanag at higit sa lahat ay makinig sa inyong mga daing at kuro-kuro hinggil sa mga problemang patuloy na nagpapahirap sa ating kalagayan at kabuhayan. Sa susunod na 2 oras, sisikapin po namin ipaliwanag ang iba't ibang bahagi ng ekonomiya, ang mga mabibigat at na local and international issues na may malalaking epekto sa ating buhay at kinabukasan. Sa ngalan po ng tatay ko na si Chairman Butch Valdes, ako po si Itos Valdes. Kasama pa ang iba pa nating mga katipon na sa Save the Nation Movement, Philippine LaRouche Society at sa Partido Politikal na Katipunan ng Demokratikong Pilipino tulad ni Cathy, Cruz and Archivido na nag-aanyaya sa inyo na makibahagi sa ating talakayan sa pagsusuri ng mga kasalukuyang problema at paghahanap ng kaukulang solusyon.
Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. No? Magandang gabi, Itos, at syempre sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan na nanonood. Ano man po ang inyong ginagawa, saan man po kayo naroroon, halina po kayo, samahan niyo po kami sa loob po ng 2 oras at sabay-sabay po tayong matuto dito sa ating talakayan. Kasama pa rin natin ang iba pa po nating mga kasama dito sa Zoom, via Zoom po, si Johnny Ventosa, nandito na po siya. At syempre sa ating sa technical side po natin na nakaalalay po sa atin, sa impilan po ng Armen DZXL, kay Chris Narvaez, at syempre kay Archivido sa ating Katipunan channel. At sa lahat po ng mga nasa iba't ibang bansa po sa ating mga kababayan, sa iba't ibang parte po ng mundo. Magandang gabi po. Ito po ang inyong lingkod, Cathy Cruz. Sir Itos?
Yes, thank you, Cathy. Let's say hi to some of our guests who are joining us in this Zoom. Mr. Johnny Ventosa, of course, every week nandito si Sir Johnny, and then yung mga iba kasi hindi ko makita yung mga pangalan, but we have several other people here joining us on Zoom. Good evening to you, Cathy and Ver. Okay, so ngayong gabi, sisikapin po natin italakay yung mga iba't ibang issue affecting us. Medyo nag-leave muna si Chairman at may ginagawa pa siya right now. So I'm sure though nakikinig po siya. So I wanted to start. May nakita kasi akong picture. Alam mo na yung presidente natin si BBM nasa ASEAN Forum ngayon. Right? And there is a picture circulating, of course, na may breakfast meeting po siya with this individual called Carl Schwab. Now, Carl Schwab, para siyang breakfast meeting lang, and Carl Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum. Ang World Economic Forum po ay isang international group that wants to push policy, world policy, and economic policy around the world, may very influential. Ito po si Carl Schwab, kung nakikita niyo kung you're joining us on Facebook. Pag nasa radyo po kayo at gusto niyo mag-research, Klaus, hindi Carl, Klaus. So his name is parang Santa Claus, pero hindi siya mabait. Okay? Ito si Klaus Schwab. KLAUSSCHWAB. Klaus Schwab. Okay, so siya yung presidente and founder ng itong forum. Now, ang World Economic Forum, ang tinutulak nila ngayong malaking campaign nila ngayon. Now, the World Economic Forum una ay isang, siguro pwede natin sabihin na the biggest conference which includes business leaders, economic leaders, policy makers, NGOs, and the like. So malaki to. Every year they hold it in Davos, Switzerland, and they invite everybody to come in and exchange ideas and exchange campaigns and advocacies, hoping to find, of course, sasabihin nila, hoping to get a sense of where the world should go in terms of their advocacies or your economic development policies. Pero ang totoo niyan, it is a forum designed by the richest and most influential people in the world, hoping to convince all countries to follow what they want to happen. That yun po ang World Economic Forum. Now, I wanted to study this kasi hindi nakikita ng mga ordinaryong tao yung significance o yung importansya ng pag-meeting nito ni President natin si Bongbong with Klaus Schwab. This is probably the most important meeting he had because it is a chance for Klaus Schwab represents the most influential banks, the most influential financial organizations, the most influential interest groups sa buong mundo. At yung meeting na yan, sigurado po tayo na may binibigyang pahintulot or abiso or utos itong si Klaus Schwab sa ating presidente. Okay? So this is probably the most significant meeting. And we will know in the next week or so or month kung nakikinig ba to si Presidente Bongbong sa kanya or nakikinig or ipaglalaban niya yung ating pagka-sovereign nation o pagka-independent ng Pilipinas. Titignan po natin yan. Okay. Who is Klaus Schwab and what is the World Economic Forum? The World Economic Forum was started in 1971. Okay. It is a gathering of yung initial idea nila is to put together a lobby group. Ano mo lobby group? Para siyang kumukuha ka ng mga eksperto, kumukuha ka ng mga bankero, ganon. Tapos pa-impluensya sa lahat ng gobyerno sa mundo, lahat ng world leaders. Lobby group. Lobby also means they will use money to make sure that the policies that you implement in your countries are the policies they want you to implement. So, yan ang reason for existing ng itong World Economic Forum. Okay? Recently, so fast forward tayo dito during the lockdowns starting in 2019 to 2020 until today. Meron silang itinutulak ngayon na tinatawag na Great Reset. What is the Great Reset? Ang Great Reset po, parang kailangan, ang gusto nila, ibaguhin yung buong mundo through economics, through politics, through culture, through advocacies. So they say, because nga, sabi nila, masyado na maraming tao sa mundo, number one. Itong disease, itong virus ng COVID kuno ay napaka-delikado at lahat magkakasakit. Masyado nang malaki yung inequality ng mayaman at mahirap at sira na yung ating environment. So yun yung four main itinutulak ng World Economic Forum. At sabi nila, kailangan hindi na to maayos na madalian. Kailangan may Great Reset. Ang Great Reset to bago natin lahat. Start tayo sa zero. Okay? At kailangan lahat ng bansa sumunod sa kanila. Now, obviously, this is another word for one world government, which is what they want. Okay? Now, and this has been their policy since the 1970s. And this has been the policy of yung mga pinakamayaman na bansa at yung mga bankero at yung mga influential political and socio-economic organizations and leaders, business leaders tulad ni Bill Gates at lahat, yan ang gusto nila. Pag sinabi po nilang depopulation, pag sinabi po nilang masyadong maraming tao sa mundo, ang gagawin po nila, sasabihin nila sa mga leader ng mga iba't ibang bansa, kailangan po mag-implement kayo ng depopulation policies. Kailangan nyo, in effect, kailangan nyo i-reduce yung population nyo kasi dumadami na kayo. Now, this kind of thinking, matagal na po to since the turn of the century, 1900s, 1901, maybe even earlier. Okay? Actually earlier, a lot earlier, pero in the modern era, itong kind of thinking na masyado nang wag natin paramihan yung mga populasyon sa mga third world country. Kailangan dito lang sa atin. Kasi pag dumadami yung populasyon ng mga third world country tulad ng Pilipinas at tulad ng mga Southeast Asia, South America, Africa, pag dumami yan, mangangailangan sila ng sariling resources. At hindi natin pwedeng ibigay yon sa kanila. So anong gagawin natin? Ito po yung pag-iisip nila ha. Ito po yung pinagmimitingan nila. Anong gagawin natin? How will we prevent them from using their own resources for their own benefit? Yan ang pag-iisip nila. Kasi hindi sa kanila yon. Ang pag-iisip nila, yung natural resources ng Pilipinas, hindi para sa Pilipinas, hindi para sa kanila yon. At yung Pilipino ay kanilang mga employees or even slaves. That's what they think of us. Okay? You will work, magtatrabaho tayo hanggang tumanda tayo, at babayad tayo sa kanila. Sila nagme-may-ari ng buhay natin. Sila magdidikta ng presyo ng enerhiya. Sila magdidikta ng presyo ng pagkain. Sila magdidikta ng ang kalakaran ng ekonomiya natin. Sila ang magdidikta kung anong exchange rate ng ating piso. Laban sa dolyar, laban sa other pound, British pound at iba pa. Ganun po sila mag-isip. That's the World Economic Forum. Now, this was created at a time where another similar document was put out in 1974 naman, lumabas yung National Security Studies Memorandum 200 by Henry Kissinger, who was then the Secretary of State sa US, or National Security Advisor ng United States. Now, what is in this document? Marami ng beses namin diniscuss to dito sa programang ito at in all our forums for the past 2 decades, no? But this NSSM 200, which is available online, research po kayo, NSSM 200, National Security Studies Memorandum 200. Okay? 1974, I think. Now, Ang lumabas ito, ang nagpairal ng study na to is si Henry Kissinger. Now, ang summary po ng study nito ay ganito. Sabi nila, dahil sa Bretton Woods, dahil sa Bretton Woods agreements, dahil sa economic prosperity na ini-experience ngayon ng mga third world country, okay? Their population is increasing. Now, when our population is increasing, sabi na study na to, mangangailangan na yan ng more resources. Yan po, pag nakikita nyo on screen si Henry Kissinger. Yan, 1974, tama. So, sabi niya, dumadami daw yung population ng mga third world countries. Pag dumami yan, kahit mangangailangan na sila ng more resources in their own country, they will have to make industry. They will have to create pharmaceutical to help their people. They will have to create energy, nuclear energy, to be able to run their industry. They will have to create more lands, agro-industrial production para tumaas yung mga production ng rice, kasi kailangan kumain yung mga tao. Ang sabi niya, hindi maganda yan para sa atin. Yan ang sabi ni Kissinger. Hindi yan maganda, hindi yan pabor sa atin. Hence, ang dapat natin gawin as a foreign policy is depopulation should be the highest priority of foreign policy for other nations. So it is a state-sponsored depopulation effort. This was in 1974. It became foreign policy. Ano po nangyari dyan? Lahat ng tulong na ibinigay from that moment on until today is attached to your population growth and some other factors that they say. Lahat ng tulong, lahat ng aid, lahat ng foreign aid, lahat ng, for example, US aid, all of these other things, lahat po. Kasama yan, may attach yan na kondisyon. Kailangan yung population growth rate nyo mababa. Or kailangan mag-implement kayo ng contraceptives. Or kailangan in this case, magpabakuna. Understand? So, yan ang sasabihin nila. Okay? So, kasi ang goal po nila is depopulation. Because sabi nila, ang unang-unang problema ng buong mundo ay masyadong maraming tao sa mundo. So, kailangan bawasan natin. Okay? O, tinan mo, this is in the report also, babasahin ko lang. Quote, there is also established precedent for taking account of family planning performance in appraisal of assistance
The recording has stopped.
by the USAID and consultative groups.
This meeting is being recorded.
Since population growth is a major determinant of increases in food demand, allocation of scarce resources should take account of what steps a country is taking in population control as well as food production. In this sensitive relationship, it is important in style as well as substance to avoid the appearance of creation. Ano bang sinasabi nito? Interpretation. Kailangan i-kumbinsihin natin yung gobyerno ng mga third world countries na i-adapt yung population control, pero huwag natin palabasin na pinipilit natin sila. Yan ang sinasabi niya. Itong si Kissinger po, itong Kissinger is one of the most evil people also of the 20th century. Itong si Henry Kissinger. Ito po, pasensya na, pero ito po ang sinabi ni Bongbong Marcos na rockstar. Parang bilib na bilib siya dito kay Henry Kissinger. So kayo na humusga po. Okay? Pero Henry Kissinger has advocated for depopulation attached to aid. And sabi niya, kailangan Kailangan wag natin paggamitin ang resources ng Pilipinas para sa Pilipino. Kailangan atin yun. So kailangan natin bawasan yung mga tao sa Pilipinas. He named, I think, 14 countries. Kasama po Pilipinas dyan. Kasama na India dyan. Kasama na, I think, Indonesia, Philippines, and others. Okay? So the other thing that took place in the 70s, so you have the World Economic Forum, itong mga elite, yung mga banker, yung mga mayayaman na countries, yung mga businessmen, yung mga ganun. Nagmi-meeting ito, gumawa silang grupo para impluwensyahan ang economic policies ng lahat ng buong mundo. Secondly, you have this NSSM 200 which advocated and advised the President of the United States to use depopulation as a foreign policy condition for aid. Not just in the Philippines, but around the world. Kung gusto nyo tumulong kami sa iyo, gusto nyo pahiramin kayo ng pera, you will have to depopulate. The other one is they changed the whole economic system from a fixed exchange rate system that the Bretton Woods had from 1945 to 1971. Bretton Woods po tayo. Pinalitan nila, ginawa nilang floating exchange rate system. What happened there? What happened there was the central banking system. We became a central banking system. Yung buong mundo became under the central banking system. Because now your peso, yung peso po natin, hindi na attached sa anything solid. Wala na siyang anchor, wala na siyang kasandal. Naging ere, floating exchange rate. Sino magsasabi sa atin kung ano yung value natin? Di ba sila rin? At pinilit nila sa iba't ibang pamamagitan, panguutang, pinapautang nila ng mga bansa tulad ng Pilipinas, pinautang nila ng malaki para ma-absorb yung shock ng floating exchange rate system. At utang pa rin yun. Right? So, they controlled our money in the 70s. They controlled our economic development through withholding of aid. They advocated depopulation, okay, and then they formed their own World Economic Forum, which essentially they wanted to be a one world government, and then they changed the whole world system into a floating exchange rate system. This is happening in the early 70s. All within 4 years, it happened. The other thing that also happened there was they created the petrodollar system. Okay? Gumawa sila ng oil exchange. So we cannot buy directly anymore from countries. We have to go through an exchange, which is in Singapore. So we have to go through a market which they set up. Now, to do that, we have to buy dollars. We have to have a lot of dollars para makapagbili ng oil. Okay? So this is what they did. Kumbaga, pinalitan nila yung buong sistema ng mundo para silang namuno. This all happened in the early 70s. And until today, we are in that system. It's no wonder that pahirap ng pahirap ang mga, not just the Philippines, but pahirap ng pahirap ang mga third world countries to develop. Pahirap ng pahirap. Kasi pag floating exchange, tulad ng sinasabi ni Chairman dati pa, paulit-ulit binibigay ng example. Pag hindi steady yung exchange rate, hindi ka pagpatayo at hindi ka makakapagpalago ng business. Especially pag malaki ang kapital na kailangan. Kasi kasunod na taon, pag umiba yung exchange rate, lumaki na naman. From sabihin mo ng 10 to 1, naging 20 to 1, bankrupt ka na. Ang fixed exchange rate po, hindi ganon-ganon ang palitan ng value ng peso to the dollar. So this all happened in the 70s. Now, this meeting, itong meeting with WEF, si Klaus Schwab and si President Bongbong, interesting to know ano talagang pinag-usapan nila. Kasi alam natin itong si Klaus Schwab, ano yan eh, hindi talaga mabait na tao yan eh. Sinasabi ko na sa inyo po. Mag-research po kayo. At if you will describe evil, kasama na siya po doon. Okay? Siya yung talagang gusto ng one world government. At yung meeting nila in the breakfast meeting na sinasabi nila that took place, interesado po namin. Dapat isiwalat ni Bongbong yan sa taong bayan. Ano bang pinag-usapan nila? Diba? Pero hindi ko alam kung gagawin niya yon. Kasi kung idol niya si Henry Kissinger, hindi ko na alam. Diba? Yung mga taong yun ang nagpatalsik ng kanyang ama. Okay? Na tumulong na magpatalsik ng kanyang ama. Okay? So, our path, the Philippines, changed when the world changed also. The whole economic system, the way people do business, the way when you have a floating exchange rate, di mo ma-determine kung nag-i-import ka ng agriculture products, kung magmamahal siya the next year at the year after, so hindi ka makaplano. Diba? Yung langis mo, di mo alam kung anong mangyayari. Kailangan dollar ang bayad mo. Hindi ka pwede magbayad in pesos at the time. Until now, you cannot. Until now, kaya hindi tayo pinapayagan bumili ng oil galing sa Russia, galing kay Putin. Hindi tayo pinapayagan. Sasabihin lang, pag ginawa nyo yon, hindi na namin kayo bibigyan ng aid. Zero kayo, sisirain namin kayo. Kaya you cannot. We have to buy in dollars. We have to stay within their system. Kahit umaalis na sa sistemang yon, ang Russia and ang China and ang Saudi Arabia, sila na lang maybe India will join them soon. Tayo dito pa rin. Okay? Tapos nagrereklamo po tayo. Ang nakakatuwa at nakakadismaya. Pag nagrereklamo ang ordinaryong Pilipino sa taas ng bilihin, sa hirap ng buhay, ang binibintang nilang presidente, tama naman. Kasi ang presidente may kapangyarihan. Diba? But hindi nila po naiintindihan kung bakit sino talaga ang may dahilan. Kung ano talaga yung pinanggagalingan ng ganyang policies. Okay? So, simple lang naman yung tao. Gusto ko lang makapakainin ng pamilya ko at magtrabaho ko. Oo nga. Pero bumoboto po tayo at pinapayagan natin yung mga kongresista natin at yung mga senador natin at yung presidente natin. When they talk about economics, hindi na kayo nakikinig. Kaya po galit na galit yung ating chairman with the economists in government. Si Ben Jokno, yung mga central bank governors, sila Tetangco and all of that. Kasi alam niya na sila yung nag-aabiso sa presidente kung anong policy. Okay? So kaya nga gusto kong italakay sana yon. Because right now, yung gusto mangyari ni Klaus Schwab ay mas grabe. Yung meeting yan, World Economic Founder and Klaus Schwab meeting. Hindi ko alam. Nakabihis yan si Klaus Schwab pero kung tinanggal niya siguro yung damit niya, makikita mo siguro hindi tao yan. Hindi siguro tao yan. Siguro animal yan. Makikita mo, medyo yan. Baka may scales yan sa ilalim ng kanyang suit. Hindi natin alam. Pero ganun siya, hindi siya tao. Pag nakinig po kayo sa kanya, may inis kayo. Yung policy niya. Ang gusto nga nila is Great Reset. Ang Great Reset is another word for more depopulation and more control by the elite of the world, yung mga bankero, hindi na bansa yung mga bankero, yung mga businessmen, yung mga mag-aharian dito sa buong mundo. Okay, so that's the importance of that, and that's why I wanted to. Apparently si US President Biden nandun rin daw sa ASEAN meeting. May video ko nakita ngayon lang sa Facebook na nakipag si Bongbong at siya nandun nakipag-usap. Hindi ko alam kung anong pinag-usapan nila kasi si Biden di mo naman maintindihan kung anong pinagsasabi niya sa buhay. Alright? Medyo malabo yung hindi na wala na sa utak yata si Biden. Pasensya na yung mga fans ni Biden dito pero talaga hindi ko alam paano pa nagiging presidente ng United States. Siguro pinag-usapan nila yung kanilang pagkain, hindi mo alam. Hindi ko talaga alam kung anong ni Biden. But anyway, so this is the most important meeting that he had because we will see in the coming months kung saan talaga lulugar si Bongbong, ang presidente natin. Will he fight against this? Will he fight against this one world government? Or will he allow our country to continue to be slaves to this system? Okay, that's what I wanted to say this evening to start it off. Marami pang pwedeng pag-usapan yan, but the basic thing is these guys are pushing for a great reset. Na zero ulit, wala kayong rights, pero happy kayo. And he said this, you will own nothing, but you will be happy. Sabi ni Klaus Schwab. Okay? Wala kayong pag-aarian, pero happy kayo. Kasi siguro may internet kayo, tsaka may Netflix kayo, or may kayo, Mobile Legends kayo sa cellphone, di ba? Happy kayo. Pero hindi kayo may-ari, you will just be slaves to the system. Yan ang gusto nilang mangyari. It's another form of colonization, but this time all over the world. That's what it is. That's what they want. And that's the policies that our local leaders have been implementing, honestly, since 86. Since 86, yan yung mga policy natin. We've become the world's best servants, OFWs. Tayo magaling na OFW. Tayo magaling na outsourced engineers and mechanics and seamen. Pero hindi na ngayon, humahabol na yung ibang bansa. Ibig sabihin, mas maraming mas pulubi sa atin. Diba? Ibig sabihin, hindi na lang yan yung Sabi nga ni Chairman, tayo lang yata yung bansa na may agency under government for overseas workers. To promote overseas workers, to sell our people to the highest bidder. Because we don't have a policy to give them jobs here. Because that's what was told to us. That's what was told to us. Recently also, merong delegation from the Senate, I think it was Senator Gatchalian with Senator Angara and others, pumunta po sila sa Brussels, Belgium, which is the European Union, European Parliament. And it's part of their reporting of they call it G5 compliance or something like that. Basta basically nag-report po sila dito sa European Union na sumusunod sila sa conditions na ipinataw sa atin. At humihingi ulit ng tulong. Kasi sabi nila, bibigyan namin kayo ng tulong, aid, pero yung conditionales, ito dapat ang matupad nyo sa bansa. So these are our legislators fighting for these kinds of policies. And yun ang nakikita natin. So yung mga tao natin, because they're oblivious, hindi nila nakikita yung talagang nangyayari. Nakikita lang nila yung sa dulo na, ba't tumataas yung presyo ng manok? Ba't tumataas yung presyo ng langis? Ba't tumataas? You know, when you have that, pinakamadaling i-blame yung Pangulo. Yes, of course. The President is responsible because he has the power to change it. But insofar as causing this problem, it's been there since, like I say, the biggest change is 86. From the policies of the father of our current president, Ferdinand Marcos Sr. So that's where we are now. Patuloy na pababa at pababa at pababa. Wala tayong nakikitang advancement or development. So that's what I wanted to say this evening. Of course, we can have a discussion on all sorts of topics now. Pero yun ang gusto kong to start with. Cathy?
Oo. Thank you, Sir Itos. Actually, yung mga sinasabi mo, Sir Itos, napapaisip ako eh. Yung karamihan o most of the government officials in our government today, even before, no, especially in 1986, puro lahat sila ay pro-population control. So meaning, if they are pro-population control, they are pro-depopulation. At kasama sila dito sa plano nitong nasa WEF na to. Diba, Sir Itos?
Yes, Cathy. Exactly. So, anything that they say, ang hindi pinapakita kasi sa mga reporting, lalo na itong media natin na talagang kulang na kulang, Cathy. Alam ko, ikaw, you're part of the media. Dati, media rin ako. Pero naiinis na ako eh. Kasi, you know, they don't report on the real numbers. What is the important news items that they report on? Kunwari, they discuss, lalabas sa Inquirer, may picture. Picture, parang Instagram lang, parang Facebook lang. Selfie sila ni Klaus Schwab. Anong pinag-usapan? Yan ang importante. Ano talaga yung pinag-usapan? Sasabihin nila, pinag-usapan wide range of topics concerning economics and politics and all of that. Pero ano ba yung talagang detalye? Ano ba yung... Kasi sigurado ako meron dyan eh. Same thing with the delegation of the Senate going to EU. Anong mga conditionalities? Ba't di niyan ang ilatag nyo? Ba't di yan ang sabihin nyo sa taong bayan? Kaya yung mga taong bayan natin, ignorante sa ganyan eh. They're ignorant. They don't know about these things. So because hindi nila maintindihan kung ano-ano na lang sinasabi nila sa Facebook o kahit saan, sa neighbors nila, hindi nila intindihan eh. Because they're not educated. They weren't given that opportunity, that information to discuss those things in this. Tsaka hindi pang dalubhasa lang yung mga topic na to eh. This is common sense topics. This is citizen. This is as a citizen of the Philippines. It is important. It is incumbent. It is required of you to know these things so you can make an informed decision. Kapag sinabi mo ng ganyan na si World Economic Forum, pasensya na, pero marami sa atin, sasabihin nila, ano ngayon ang importansya yan sa Pilipinas? Dapat di na kayo nagdidiskusyon ng ganyan, masyado kayo, nag-i-English pa kayo. Dapat ito na lang discuss natin. Yun ang dahilan. And gusto nila yan. Gusto nila Klaus Schwab yan. na ganyan ang pag-usapan nyo kasi walang mangyayari sa ganyan. Hindi magi-improve ang buhay ng Pilipino sa ganyang pag-iisip. Pasensya na, pero doon ako kay Rizal. Asa na, mag-isip-isip naman tayo. Hindi puro ingay at puro aksyon. Mag-isip-isip nga tayo kung ano talaga yung problema bago mag-aksyon. Kasi kung hindi, Diyos ko, yun ang ano. Pasensya na, Cathy, na nainis ako eh.
Okay lang.
Frustrated.
Pare-parehas tayo, Sir Itos, kasi naalala ko nga sabi ko nga parang mabuti pa nung panahon ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Talagang matigas siya doon sa naalala ko yung COP27, yung tungkol sa climate change, di ba? Nagalit siya noon. Ang sabi ni Pangulong Duterte noon, itong mga mayayaman na bansang ito, gusto nila tumigil tayo sa yung tayo raw nagko-contribute ng yung carbon emission, etc. Tayo raw sumisira. Mas sila nga yung sumisira dahil sila yung maraming mga factory, hindi katulad natin, third world country. Sabi niya gano'n. Kita mo, buti pa si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, nakita niya yan, naisip niya yan. At talagang hindi lang si Obama ang pinagmumura niya at nagagalit siya, di ba? But this time, sorry to say, pero hindi ko makita ngayon sa kasalukuyang administrasyon to, hindi ko makita yung bangis at yung kaalaman na naiintindihan ba niya kung sino tong mga kaharap niya. Naiintindihan ba niya na parang isinasalang niya sa kumukulong mantika sa kawali ang sambayan ng Pilipino. Hindi ko maintindihan lalo na, Sir Itos, kung makakausap mo yung mga nasa industriya talaga. Like for example, etong ating mga sa exportation, etong mga logistics na nai-interview ko. Lumalaki ulo ko kasi biruin mo ang bansa natin, ang sabi nila, we are a dying country. Why? Kasi hindi natin kayang pakainin ang sarili nating mamamayang Pilipino because of the programs, because of the mga batas, laws na pinapatupad, dahil dun sa kawalan din ng sistema na nangyayari. Di ko maintindihan, parang dahil sa mga kinikwento mo kanina, Sir Itos, parang naiisip ko tuloy, ito ba ay sadya? Sinasadya ba nila na gutumin, mahirapan ang sambayan ng Pilipino sa pamamagitan ng patuloy na pagtaas at kawalan ng produksyon ng mga agricultural product at iba pang produkto? Pinapatay nila tayo dahil nangyayari ang lahat ng mga produkto ay puro ini-import at wala na tayong ang mga magsasaka natin unti-unti pinapatay. Parang wala na rin pagkakaiba to na wala nang kwenta ang human being. Ganito na to Sir Itos diba? Wala nang kwenta ang human being, kaya kinakailangan mag-reset na tayo. Ganun, di ba? Hindi ko maintindihan. Ano yun? Di papatayin mo na lang. Ganun na lang ba yun? At sa atin, sa lahat ng sa sambayan ng Pilipino, we have to understand what is going on. Kinakailangan alam natin ng ugat, sino tong mga tunay na kalaban natin. Hindi lang po ito yung mga taong nandyan sa gobyerno, hindi lang ito yung mga taong mga kalaban ng Estado, kundi meron din po galing sa labas. At we have to understand what is going on at kung paano sila tumutulay o kumokonekta sa lahat ng mga opisyal ng ating pamahalaan. Nandyan sila nakaupo. Kung makikita niyo po, alam mo Sir Itos minsan nga kahit yung mga pasensya na pasintabi, hindi po ako anti environmentalist, yung nagmamahal sa kalikasan. Pasensya na, pero gusto ko rin siyempre mahusay na pero not to the extent na papatayin mo na ang industrialisasyon, papatayin mo na kung saan pwedeng kumita ang tao at magkaroon ng trabaho. Di ba, Sir Itos? Anyway, Sir Itos, na bago tuluyang uminit na rin ang aking ulo, ibibigay ko muna kay Carlo Iwa yung katanungan para sa'yo. Carlo, go ahead.
Magandang gabi po sa lahat, no? Babati muna ako ng isang magandang gabi sa lahat ng mga kasama natin sa Zoom, no? Kada, alam niyo ba yung latest na decision ng ERC na binasura na yung sa Meralco, yung yung application ng Meralco at San Miguel para sa increases? Lumalabas pa na may technical study pa na na yung sa ina-apply pa na dapat pala mabura pala yun. Pero ang nangyari pala na hindi na-aprobahan mismo ng ERC ang kanilang study na mabula sa tao pa nila mismo. So ano masasabi niyo doon, Kaitos at Kapansang Cathy?
Pwede ba ipag-clarify mo yung Sir Itos, I don't know kung Sige, go ahead, Sir Itos.
Yeah, we need to know more about the details on that, Carlo. No, but again, if the study came from those who are providing to make money out of the services, continued services, dapat in doubt na yan. Dapat yung study yan should come from an independent source. So hindi ko alam kung bakit binasura yung ng ERC, or I don't know the background on that.
Pwede i-share ko sa inyo itong link na to para makita nyo.
Sige, you can do a link, tapos we'll study it and get back to you. Okay, I just wanted to comment. I just wanted to comment on what Cathy said, no? On regarding the environmental and climate change. Number one, sabi nga ni Cathy kanina about Duterte. At least po si Duterte, alam niya yung mas kung totoo man yun, na masama yung man-made climate change. Kung totoo man yun, which it's not true. Hindi po totoo yung man-made climate change. Okay? Now, pero kung totoo man yun, tama naman siya. Mas maraming CO2 ang pinoproduce ng mga industrialized nations. Definitely. But number one, a volcanic eruption contributes so much more CO2 to the atmosphere at any given time than mankind. Mankind contributes maybe 0.005 of the total CO2 in the atmosphere. Because alam niyo po, yung CO2, pag may namatay na lumabas kayo sa kalsada, pag may nakita kayong tuyot na halaman o leaf, pag namatay yun, they contribute CO2 to the atmosphere. Water vapor, the world is 2/3 water. Pag uminit yun, nag-water vapor yun, CO2 yun. In no, among other things, no? And this can be a discussion on climate change. Number one, first, yung style nila ganito. Parang parang yung efficacy ng pagkabakuna. Okay? It's the same style, okay? Ganito yung style nila. First, sasabihin nila man-made global warming. Yung sabihin, masyado ng maraming contributions si human, kaya umiinit ang mundo. Okay? Sabi po ni Al Gore yan, dati, inconvenient truth. Kailangan malaman niya. Pero si Al Gore still travels in a private jet around the world, di ba? Pero sinasabi niya, kailangan, global warming. Okay. Now, it was already debunked and disproven. So, anong ginawa nila after that? They changed it to climate change. Kasi po, bilyones yung industriya ng climate change ngayon. Bilyones po. May mga journalists that made their whole careers on climate change reporting. May mga studies and grants by private organizations to universities na hindi kayo pwede mag-research kung hindi climate change ang i-research nyo. So yung mga professor noon, yung mga research associates, lahat yan, kumita sa climate change. Saan galing yung pera? E di sa mga gobyerno, sa mga taxpayers. Pero puro bola yan. Because climate is always changing. There is no time in history na hindi nagpapalit yung climate. Always changing. Tanga lang yung mga naniniwala na hindi nagpapalit yung klima. Talaga. Pero sasabihin nila kasalanan ng tao. Yung iba nga dyan, wag na kayo kumain ng beef. Kasi daw, pag kumain kayo ng karne, yung utot ng baka, nagko-contribute sa climate change. So pag hindi daw tayo kumain ng beef na marami, so hindi kailangan maglago ng baka. Bababa yung carbon footprint natin. Kalokohan na yan eh. So all of these things are really katangahan eh. But parang yun ang kondisyon ng mga lenders sa atin. Our lenders, the USAID, all of this. Sabi nga ni Henry Kissinger, attach mo yung aid sa depopulation policy. Because when you say, pag sinabi natin, huwag kayong mag-industriya, ang industriya na co-contribute sa climate change, wala tayong trabaho magbibigay sa tao. Wala tayong economic development. Mamamatay maaga yung mga tao. Infant mortality rate will go up because we don't have industry to support medicine, pharmaceuticals. We don't have industry to support agriculture. May mamamatay talaga. Policy yan eh. So, yes, Duterte was but even President Duterte, who definitely we can see now seems to be a better president than our current president, right? He's not, also didn't have all the answers all the time. Okay? And he could have changed the course of this country if he followed what the KDP was telling him to do from the start. Article 12. Take it back. Take back our basic utilities and give the people a chance. Give the people a chance at the future. Kasi ngayon, sa taas ng bilihin at lahat, wala na. Parang walang nagagawa na. Ano kung manguutang ka? Taas-taas ng electricity, taas-taas ng oil. Walang pupunta ditong negosyo kung ganon. Diba? So, anyway, that's what I wanted to react lang, Cathy. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Itos. And of course, si Sir Johnny Ventosa will be the next one who will ask. Sir Johnny. Okay, go ahead, Sir Johnny. Sir Johnny, wala kang audio. Wala po kayong audio, hindi po kayo naririnig.
There, now.
Ayan, okay na.
No, I agree. The one thing I think Duterte had is that he knew who the enemy was. Basically, he knew who the enemy was. And in a way, he really is a better president than what we have right now. You get to. Anyway, another thing I was going to talk about all this climate change and all that. Europe, I think, is going to end up again using carbon because they cannot get oil from Putin. They're going to start using carbon again. Goodbye, climate change. And thirdly, they're the first ones to change the climate. They're the ones through engineered storms and all that. I mean, I think what we really should do is inform the Filipino people exactly what's going on. Because, I mean, these politicians cannot claim that they're ignorant of what is going on because they know what is going on. And they're working for themselves, but not for the people. And Bongbong, I mean, he knows what's going on. He wants to talk about how do you call this, neutrality, but he's only looking at one side of the cards. What neutrality is he talking about? No such thing as neutrality. He's just lagging along with them. I really wish we knew more what's happened with the WEF, because that is going to be very tragic for our country. Very, very tragic. And then I heard, I don't know how true this is, but I was told it's late news of 1916. But I heard that, I mean, there will be bases here in the Philippines run by the NATO. Now, I don't know how true that is. But if it is so, why? We are going to be slaughtered if there is a war between China and the US. We will be slaughtered because the camps will be here and the nuclear weapons are here. And Butch, I think you're right. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating when you see all this, and the people are just, I don't know. They're only active when elections come around, but they don't even know who they're electing. Our government is already to the neck. We were already being controlled by the mafia. And I thought he would get us out of here. My gosh, no, we're sinking. Not only we're sinking, we're suffocating. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sir Johnny. Sir Itos, any comment? Parang, kulang na lang magbulas. Okay. Sir Itos.
Yes, of course. You can feel the frustration of Johnny, no? We all feel it. And it seems that yung mga leadership natin, yung na-elect natin, they're either fools or liars, no? They know what's going on. They see it. They're firsthand. They see the hand of influence or the face of the enemy. And yet they succumb. They allow it to happen. In hopes that the Filipino people don't know what they've done. That's the whole thing. Kaya nga naiinis ako, parang yung taong bayan, hindi yun ang tinatanong. Di ba? Kasi madali lang magbintang Madali lang magsabi na kasalanan ng mga politiko, lahat yan, ganyan. No. Pero kasalanan natin, we're not asking the right questions. As members of the media, as members of a citizen even, asking your local mayor or politician, ano bang palagay niyo sa World Economic Forum? Ano bang conditionalities nila sa atin? I've heard that rumor also na yung NATO will run bases here, but I think they just come out in name now, but they've been running bases here for a while.
Yes.
Right. So under the guise of the State Department, which is not necessarily the U.S. military per se, but could be part of the deep state and their networks as clandestine operations na ginagamit-gamit ng CIA and etc. So while I agree that Duterte knew the enemy, has seen it, I don't think he realized the extent and the breadth of the enemy. So he sees it up to a certain point, which is better. Umasa nga ako na itong si presidente natin ngayon, si Bongbong, will actually see it more because he went through it with his father. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe he chose to close his eyes to what's actually going on in the operation against his own father. Or maybe his father tried to shield his own family from the truth also. Hindi natin alam. Pero the point being is, by now, you should know. You should know what's going on. And makita kung may, honestly, kung may bayag ka o hindi. Diba? Kasi you will have to face that eh. Kasi it's really, alam natin po, it's whatever decision they make. Every time may pinirmahan ng batas ang presidente na galing sa Congress o sa Senate, buhay ng taong nakasalalay dyan. So if dahil, kunyari, pinirmahan yung EPIRA at tumaas yung electricity rates, at dahil tumaas yung electricity rates, hindi na makabayad yung mga ordinaryong tao para sa ICU ng kanilang lola o ama at namatay. Kanino kasalanan yon? Yung ospital o yung policy? Di ba? Kanino kasalanan yon? Sino di ba yung naglagda ng batas? Meron rin siyang kasalanan doon. Directly. Hindi naman indirectly nga yun, directly. Pag dahil sa economic policy na nilagta, you signed in Congress and the Senate, and then as President, you signed it. EPIRA, oil deregulation, taas ng bilihin, which leads to high prices of basic goods and services. People go hungry. People go hungry, they get sick, and then eventually they die. Whose fault is that? Diba? Kasalanan nila. Kaya nga, yung economic policy, kaya galit na galit po si Chairman. Doon kay Ben Diokno and all of these clowns in our finance department and economic policy making departments. Because they've been advising all of these presidents from the beginning. And you will not get a finance head or a NEDA chief or a central bank chief that is not approved by the World Economic Forum. I guarantee you that. Or the IMF, or the World Bank, or this corporation called BlackRock, who probably owns our central bank anyway. You're guaranteed, hindi independent yan. And they control our money. Pag kinontrol yung pera mo, sila magdidikta. Sila magdidikta yung value na yan. Kaya sinasabi, dati yung panahon ni Cathy. Yung panahon ni Cathy, 1 peso yung soft drinks. Ewan ko, kasi yung panahon ni Cathy na 1 peso, sanggol pa ako nun di ba, Cathy? Hindi naman.
Tawa tuloy.
Loko lang. Pero that's yes, di ba? Your time, my father's time, chairman's time, di ba? So, it is and then now, grabe, it's the same soft drink. It's the same glass. Bakit tumataas? Tapos yung electricity, yung ilaw nyo sa bahay, pag akyat nyo ganyan, you're paying the same, you're paying so high for the same wattage, for the same electricity. Bakit mas mahal ngayon? Bakit tumataas? It's the same product. Di ba? Pareho lang yan eh. Bakit? Pag ngayon ba yung electricity, may amoy na, mabango na. Pag buksan mo ng ilaw, may biglang bango yung ilaw mo, di ba? Biglang may music ba yan na kasama dahil mas mahal ang bayad mo? Hindi naman eh. Pareho lang naman yan eh. What's the difference? Bakit tumataas at tumataas every year? Why is the cost? Kaninong kasalanan yun? Kasalanan ba ni Bongbong? Diba? But he's responsible because the president, with our constitution, has the power to change it. Has the power to direct us towards a better future. It only takes
Guts.
balls and guts and heart for the Filipino people or his people. The people he claims he loves, the people he wants to unite. That's what it. Or he will just allow the current oligarchy dito sa Pilipinas to serve the international oligarchy, to continue to serve the international oligarchy. Ganun yan. Kasi yan yung mga dati, di ba? Sinasabi lang dati yung yung mga hari at pag nag-invade ka ng isang country, maghahanap ka ng tao mo. Yan ang iluluklok mo sa posisyon. Tapos siya yung tao mo dyan. Pwede mo nang iwanan yung lugar na yan kasi tiwala ka, yung pamilyang yan at yung mga anak nila, they will serve your interest. Kasi ikaw yung talagang boss. Ito yung nangyayari. Because lahat ng mga oligarchy natin, may kapartner yan. Yung mga shareholder niyan, international banks, international financial institutions, international businessmen. They're the shareholders. They dictate. Sila ang magsasabing, "Oy, kulang yung kita namin dito. Ang gagawin mo?" Ano sasabihin mo sa kanila? Namamatay na yung mga taong bayan ko eh. Pakialam ko. Taasan mo yung electricity. Taasan mo yung kuryente. Taasan mo yung singil sa tubig. Wala akong pakialam kung namatay yung tao dyan. Basta kami kumikita. Gaya naman pag-iisip ng mga yan eh. And it's disgusting. For someone, you put it in power, even the senators, even our congressmen, that they're not really in the interest. They're not. They don't care. They use the media and they use social media, kunwari. But it's really to further their own interests and their own careers, if you can call it careers. Sabi nga nila, pag yumaman ka sa gobyerno, iba na yung ginagawa mo, di ba? Obviously, walang dapat yumaman sa gobyerno. Dapat mas naging pulubi ka pa kung nag-gobyerno ka kasi wala talagang bayad dyan na malaki. Dapat. Unless, kumukupit ka. Di ba? Yun. So, that's it, Kath. What else do you have?
Okay, si Carlo EY, nagtataas siya kanina ng kamay. Carlo, can go ahead.
Okay. Babasahin ko lang yung tanong, no? Bakit ganito pinagluloko tayo ng mga ito? Paano nila nagawa na may dapat depopulate ang mga tao? Yun yung dalawa kong tanong muna.
Vaccine.
Thank you, Carlo. Sir Itos?
Okay. Sorry, nag-ano pa. Ang tanong mo, Carlo, bakit ganito pinagloloko tayo ng mga ulupong? Paano nila nagagawa na ma-depopulate yung tao? Again, Carlo, it's policy. Pag sinabi nilang taasan nyo yung electricity, pag sinabi nilang you will deny them basic services by lessening the budget for it, or if they say you have to pay more in your budget, you will have to allocate less to basic services. You will directly influence your mortality rate. Tataas at tataas yan. It's not easy to see. It's not immediate, but it is apparent. They will see it. Kasi dito tayo pumunta. When you increase food prices, when you increase electricity, tataas yung food. Wala nang makagastos. So it was, people will die. People will get sick. And so it is so I think Johnny is raising his hand.
Yes, Sir Johnny.
Yeah. No, well, okay, yeah. My point is, Itos, what can we do? what can we, the people, do? Forget the government, Gigadzuk. We can depend on them at all. But what can we, the people, do?
Yeah. Again, well, one of the things is why we keep doing this, no? From Duterte to even before Duterte, we've been very vocal about these things. I don't know who else, because what other things we personally can do except just be as noisy as possible in terms of in all our circles. Kaya nga sabi ni Chairman, we have to keep the influence, the network growing, because that's the only way. We're not in a position. We're not in a position of leadership, but our leadership, our ideas will get us there. So the state of the Philippines right now, our leadership and all, is probably one of the lowest it's been collectively, lowest quality, because there are no statesmen anymore. So we discussing these things, hopefully we get the ear, and of course we do our own reaching out to different people, no, even to the president, trying to get an audience, trying to set up a meeting with some people, even the last administration. Pero even if the last administration, napaka-ingay na nga nila, KDP at with chairman and running for Senate, nothing happened. But you get a certain measure of an audience, like tonight, regularly, you put out these kinds of discussions, and you're available to everybody who cares to listen. We were talking with Chairman this lunchtime, no, and he said he's never seen a drop in withdrawal of support in terms of the people that he's seen in these last few months. Kasi grabe, parang the expectation was very high, and then now parang walang nangyayari. And people are starting to grumble loudly already about this. It's not anymore reserved for the corners of the room where they're grumbling. No, it's loud. It's very loud already. Critics, former supporters, and people who are now disappointed and expressing their disappointment. We are included. We were included also here. We've been very vocal and very disappointed. We want this Bongbong to succeed. We want him to succeed very badly. But the only way he's going to succeed is he's going to have to go back, whether he likes it or not. Kailangan balikan niya yung mga policy ng tatay niya. He really has to go back to that policies, whether he likes it or not. He really has to invoke his father. He has to bring back that spirit, because until he does, and until and unless he does, I think, if he does, you watch, the support of the people will be overwhelming. But now, I don't know. He doesn't seem interested in that. I'm not sure if you want to join the discussion, but Chairman, I think, just joined the Zoom call. Maybe he wants to say hello to everybody, unless he just wants to listen muna. Anyway, sige, Cathy, continue.
By the way, no, bago ko tawagin si Sir Johnny dahil nagtataas na naman siya ng kamay, ay gusto ko lang ipaalam sa inyo, no, na kayo po ay nanonood dito pa rin sa ating social media accounts ng Katipunan Channel o Partido KDP. At sabayan po tayong napapanood sa pamagitan po ng radyo 558 lamang po sa talapihitan po RMN DZXL. Kami po ay mapapakinggan tuwing araw po ng linggo, alas 7 hanggang alas 9 po ng gabi. At syempre, ang tunay na bida ng palatuntunan ito ay walang iba kundi si Professor Butch Valdes. Kasama pa rin si Itos Valdes at ang inyong lingkod at ang ating sa technical side, of course, si Ver Archivido at si Cruz Narvaez mula pa rin dyan sa ating himpilan sa Guadalupe, Makati. At 8:16 na po ng gabi. At tayo po ay umuusad na sa ikalawang bahagi ng ating palatuntunan. Wala pa si Sir Butch, pero nakita ko na siyang pumasok eh. But anyway, meron lang comment dito, no? Hindi ko alam kung anong pangalan niya, pero nakalagay dito is Oppo or 17. Sabi niya, Sir Itos, just keep on going. And maybe many more will understand what's going on. Yan po ang sabi. Okay, ibigay ko na yung susunod na pagkakataon kay Johnny Bentosa. Sir Johnny, any questions para kay Sir Itos?
Itos, you said that the president has a lot to, he'll have to do a lot of changes, but he has gone offline from the very beginning. To begin with, he's supporting WHO for one. Secondly, all of a sudden we were all supporting Ukraine. Thirdly, he just stopped whatever Duterte ordered from Putin. Obviously he's making enemies. He's making enemies, and I don't know what's going on in the WEF. But this guy has got to be told off. I think, I don't know. I don't know how, I don't know if he's really just playing a game and biding his time because he really cannot fight them. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's being threatened by having us Filipinos threatened. I don't know. But the thing is that something has to come out. I think we should start demanding openly that he comes out and says exactly what has been decided on the WEF. On that alone, it's enough.
Right. Yeah, your observations are the same as everybody, Johnny. Na he seems to be you, but you just have to, it's sad, but now we have to interpret his behavior and his persona, that we just want to hope that he's biding his time, no? But for what? Right? Maybe he's used to holding his cards close to his chest. Tapos gugulatin na lang tayo or gagawa siya ng certain things na hindi natin alam pero ginawa na niya. Pero I don't see, at this point in history, the urgency is needed. The urgency is required. If he cannot see that, if he's just playing along and being an actor in this whole drama, right? And trying to be the nice guy to everyone, and he's acting more like a Secretary of State than a president. Where he's just saying hello to everybody and being diplomatic, pero being a nice host and likable fellow, but not a president, right? Yun lang po. I think my chairman is raising his hand.
Butch, wala po kayong camera.
Audio rin, audio. Naka-mute yata siya.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ayan.
Yes, Sir Butch.
First of all, congratulations on your topic today, Itos and Cathy. and the rest that are there. I just wanted to add na itong mga nagtutulak ng depopulation tsaka ng population control dito ay mga tauhan lang yan ng ina-appoint ng ating Pangulo. No? At lahat ng mga oligarko na humahawak ng kuryente at tubig, hindi nila magagawa yan kung hindi nila kakonsyaba ang mga liderato ng ating bansa. Ito ang sinasabi nilang private-public partnership. Yung private-public partnership nila sa kuryente, sa tubig at sa iba pang mga negosyo, laban sa taong bayan, laban sa kapakanan ng taong bayan, ay labag sa interes ng tao at sa bayan. Gusto sabihin, lahat sila traidor sa mamamayan ng Pilipino. No? They are committing treason. No? Ngayon, tuwing may ganitong sitwasyon, madalas ang pagpapalit ng liderato ginagawa natin sa pamamagitan ng eleksyon. Pipili na naman tayo ng bagong liderato. Ngunit, kung hindi nakakayanin makapaghintay na pumili pa ng susunod na liderato dahil ang kahirapan ng taong bayan ay sagad na sa kanilang kakayanan, nagiging karapatan, nagiging katungkulan ng taong bayan na palitan agad ang mga namumuno. It becomes their duty and their right to change the leadership. That is the right and the duty of the people. If the people, however, cannot decide to do what is necessary, then they will have to suffer through a longer period of difficulties. And if at all, if they will still be alive by then, hopefully, in the next election, we might be lucky to choose somebody that will be for the interest of the people. Ang kaso lang, tuwing merong kampanya, ang taong bayan naniniwala sa kasinungalingan ng mga kandidato. Binebenta yung kanilang mga boto at nagpapaloko sa mga mainstream media. Yan ang kasalanan ng taong bayan. Tapos, magkakaroon tayong liderato na ayaw natin, dapat sa umpisa pa lang, hindi na natin ipinasok yan. Kung nag-iisip tayong mga taong bayan ng tama at hindi tayo nagpapakatuta at nagpapakaputa, marahil makakapili tayo ng tamang liderato. Kanya, Bagamat kaya natin pagkainisan ang ating liderato at ang mga oligarko, tignan natin ang sarili natin kung bakit natin ibinebenta ang kinabukasan ng ating bayan. Bakit natin ibinebenta ang kinabukasan ng ating mga anak at ang ating mga apo? Kasalanan din natin yan. Ngayon, ang hinaharap ng ating bayan ay napakabigat at wala tayong makikitang magandang development sa mundo at dito sa ating mga programa. Wala tayong nakikita na magpapahusay sa buhay natin at ng ating mga pamilya sa darating na panahon. Ito nga, binebenta na tayo ng ating Pangulo sa mga one world government. Alam nyo ba kung ano marahil ang sinasabi ni Carl Schwab kay Bongbong Marcos? Ang sinasabi ni Carl Schwab kay Bongbong Marcos doon sa meeting nila, kinakailangan sumali na siya sa one world government. Wala nang ibang sasabihin yan. Kung hindi siya sasama, magkakaroon ng economic sanctions laban sa Pilipinas. Yan ang pagduduro na gagawin ni Carl Schwab sa atin. Ang nakakatakot, ang Pangulo natin, baka matakot dahil ang alam natin kay Bongbong Marcos, hindi siya palaban. Ang style niya, puro appeasement. Yan ang nakakatakot dyan. Mabuti na lang, magkakaroon ng meeting sa January kay Xi Jinping sa China. Ano marahil ang sasabihin sa kanya ni Xi Jinping? Sasabihin niya, huwag na natin pag-usapan yung South China Sea at West Philippine Sea. Kalokohan yan. Sasabihin niya kay Bongbong, Mr. President, alam mo naman na ang nag-uudyok lang sa inyo dyan yung mga Amerikano tsaka yung mga British. Sila ang nag-uudyok sa inyo dyan. Kung gusto mong mabigyan kita ng mensahe, Bongbong Marcos, sasabihin ni Xi Jinping, tanggalin mo yung mga base militar na mga Amerikano dyan sa Pilipinas, gawa ng EDCA. Pag hindi mo tinanggal yung mga base militar ng Amerikano dyan, at yan ang gagamitin laban sa China, mapipilitan kami na i-bombahin ang mga lugar ng base militar ng mga Amerikano na nandyan sa Pilipinas. Kung mahal mo ang mga mababayang Pilipino, Mr. Marcos, tanggalin mo yung mga Amerikano dyan. Marahil yan ang sasabihin ni Xi Jinping kay Marcos. Kasi ang alam namin, ang balita sa lahat, ang bansang China ay naghahanda na sa isang malawakang gera dahil ang bansang Amerika kasama kanilang mga alyado ay naghahanda ng atakihin ang China. Diyan po ang malamang na magiging usapan ni President Xi Jinping at si Marcos. Ngayon, ano sa palagay nyo ang sasabihin ng ating Pangulo? Ano sa palagay ninyo? Yes, sir? Anong sasabihin niya? Oo, tatanggalin namin yung mga merkado. O, hindi namin matanggal yung mga merkado eh. Kasi napangakuan ko na sila eh. Ganyan ba ang sasabihin niya? We have to make our voices heard. Dito sa pamamagitan ng Katipunan Channel. Diyan din sa inyong mga vlog, sa inyong mga post na Facebook post, sa inyong mga YouTube. Iparinig nyo sa ating pamahalaan kay Bongbong Marcos kung ano ang ating gusto. At magpaka-leader siya. Tama na yung parte ating kunwari kaibigan ng lahat. Manindigan siya para sa kapakanan ng mamamayang Pilipino. Huwag niyang ibenta ang ating kinabukasan. Yun lang ang gusto kong idagdag sa usapan. Kasi meron akong konting karamdaman. Pasensya na po kayo. Maraming salamat dito sa Cathy.
Thank you, Sir Butch. Pagaling ka, palakas ka, sir, at kailangan ka ng bayan. Okay, Sir Itos? Sir Itos? Yeah.
Ayan. Hindi matigas na yung mouse ko. Ayaw nang mag-respond. So yun nga, syempre, of course, yun po yung chairman natin giving us an overview. Tama po, yun na nga yung solusyon. Eh. Kailangan manindigan si Bongbong, and we as citizens of the Philippines have to continue to speak out in our spheres of influence, and in hopes that he wakes up from his daydreaming, actually, to figure this thing out. Because what we're facing in the near term is very scary. Nakakatakot talaga. And if he doesn't show his leadership, medyo dehado na tayo. We might deteriorate into a situation where someone else will take over, and because of the chaos that will happen. Yun lang po, Kath. I think it's 8:34. Maybe you want to read your messages on Facebook or...
Habang inaayos ng ating technical team yung ating mga messages, no, Sir Itos, no, napapaisip lang kasi ako dahil parang pagpasok ng administrasyong ito kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, parang ang dami-dami ng umuusbong na problema. Parang imbis na mabigyan ng kalutasan yung problema, parang lumalala. And I hope ito ay agad-agad, kasi Biruin mo, tuloy-tuloy yung pagtaas ng gasolina, tuloy-tuloy yung pagtaas ng mga bilihin, at ang binabagsakan at naaapektuhan ng lahat ng ito ay ang taong bayan, ang mga mamamayang Pilipino. Parang pakiramdam ko tuloy yung mga opisyal ng ating pamahalaan dahil nasa apat na sulok lang sila ng kanilang tanggapan at sila ay well provided mula sa mga buwis natin, yung mga sila ay pasasakyan, paggasolina. They don't care. Wala silang pakialam kung wala na halos makain ng taong bayan. Wala silang pakialam kung maputulan na ng kuryente o ng tubig ang mga mamamayan. At wala silang pakialam kung mga matay ang sambayan ng Pilipino. At ako, yung grupo ng Philippine Agriculture and Food, yung Philippine Chamber of Agriculture and Food, medyo tumitining sa isip ko, Sir Itos, yung paulit-ulit nilang sila sabi na we are a dying country because we cannot feed our own people. At I also remember, Sir Butch, na sinasabi niya lagi na walang sinumang bansa ang maituring niya na isa siyang bansa kung hindi niya kayang pakainin ng sarili niyang mamamayan. Kung ito, hindi pa to yung foreign issues na problema natin Sir Itos Dagdagan pa natin itong sa agriculture pa lang, ang laki-laki na ng problema natin So, darating tayo, Sir Itos, sa natatakot ako yung gulo na mangyari, chaos, looting, alam mo yun, wala nang silbi yung pera natin ngayon And that's what Filipino people is feeling and suffering right now. Sir Itos.
Agree, Cathy. Yun ang nakakatakot kasi yung atin siguro hindi ko alam pero parang kaya naman lutasin yan to increase production. Hindi naman mahirap gawin yan
Yes.
Kasi you have the technology di ba? So it's just the political will to do it.
Correct.
Right? Definitely, bloated yung bureaucracy. Definitely, ganon. Pero in terms of actually just if you want to increase production yield in aquaculture, in agriculture, increase your dairy output. Wala nga tayong dairy, zero di ba? Pero increase that without even the need to stop importing. Correct? So nandiyan na tayo. Kung assuming tanggalin natin yung commerce at yung mga business in government, yung money making na yung mga lobby groups. Kung yun lang ang kailangan gawin, kayang gawin. So it just boils down to gusto ba natin gawin as a government. He is the head of the agriculture department. All he has to do is increase production. What is stopping him? All he has to do is allocate certain funds to make sure that we will increase production. Sabihin na natin mahal. Sabihin na natin dahil hindi pa niya na tatanggal yung EPIRA at hindi pa niya na-restart yung Bataan Nuclear Power Plant, which eventually kailangan talagang gawin for large scale. But increasing as a program agricultural output, hindi naman mahirap gawin yun Diba? Because it's being done now. Pero it's not organized the way government should organize it and can organize it. Honestly, anong problema niya? Ba't di niya magawa? Secretary of Agriculture siya Siya yung nagpresenta he'll take over the agriculture office. E di gawin niya. We have the science. The technology is there. It's not much, but definitely from 1 to 3, kaya. From 3 to 4, from 4 to 10, doon kailangan na ng nuclear power plant, kailangan na ng infrastructure. But from 1 to 3, it's easy. It's there. Gawin niya lang. Tapos you solve the problem of... Ang issue lang naman ng mga importers na to, na parang mafia, ay yung presyo. They want to keep the prices high. So kumikita pa rin sila. Right? So yun lang naman eh. It's a political decision. But in terms of the science, in terms of the capability, kayang-kaya. Yun lang eh. Yun lang muna gawin niya eh. For now, because of the what's looming on the horizon. If he doesn't do it now by increasing, and people are not hungry, if people are not hungry, they will be less inclined to riot, chaos, loot, steal. And you'll be able to manage the next term, at least until the next year. But kung wala kang ginagawa, tapos you rely on importation pa rin, yung importation yung solution mo, wala talaga. Your power, parang sa iba mo binigay yung kapangyarihan mo. The future of your country, depends on another nation. Tama-tama eh. No one can call itself a country if it cannot feed its own people.
Yeah.
So yun lang po. I'll end with the quote of chairman, and then maybe we can read our text messages now. Kat?
Naka-prepare na yata si Itos.
Okay. In the interest of free speech, we read everybody's text messages, but they don't necessarily reflect those of the station or its anchors or its guests tonight. Okay, nawala. Okay, Boyet Pereirabos, good evening mga katipon. Comment lang po na project si Bantag ng mga drug lords at narco-politician from Subic, watching you. Okay. Fernando say, good evening guys. Virgilio Villanueva, pakitaas lang. Ayan. Third to life, good evening to everyone. Very good, Virgilio. Antonio Cristobal, Antonio, nothing and you will be happy. Sabi ni Klaus Schwab yan. Agenda 2030. Correct. Sustainable development is depopulation. Correct. Agree. Yon. Noel Chua, hi po. Jerry Chua, good evening everyone. 8 billion na world population. Campaign period ng PBM, he mentioned na niya New World Order. Ayun. Yun na tayo. Azil Satua. Hello po. Lynn Matua Sarco. Good evening po, watching from Bacolod City. Dennis Estebal. Tama po, marami na pong nagsama sa new system ng BRICS. Tayo, paalipin pa rin sa Amerika at lumang system. Wala na akong pag-asa sa mga leaders natin dito sa Pilipinas. Masyadong greedy at subservient sa mga globalist powers. Kaya sigurado na nila hindi unahin ang kapakanan ng bansa nila. Excuse lang po ng global elites gaya ng WEF ang climate change para ipupush kung anong agenda na gusto lang ipush. Tool lang nila yan.
Correct.
Everything the globalists do boils down to depopulation. Correct. Mapa-climate change agenda man o pandemic, ang end product lahat ay depopulation. Masyado po kasing sheltered naging buhay ni Bongbong dati, kaya hindi niya siguro alam ng tunay ng kalakaran ng mundo. Ako, I would add to that. Remember, Bongbong was educated abroad. Lahat ng kinds of basis for his economic thinking and his economic and political thinking was crafted abroad. Especially in London. Kasi yan ang ano ng tatay niya siguro. Si Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Yan ang mali niya sa palagay ko. Dapat hindi niya pina-educate yung mga anak niya abroad. Kasi pinasukan na ng mali-maling pag-iisip. Okay.
Okay, next text. Mula kay Matt Du, ST, PBBM educated in UK, not in the same mold as President Ferdinand E. Marcos, his dad. He is scared shit of US sanctions and lack any wisdom or any decisive action like PRRD. Clearly, BBM belongs to the globalist New World Order ethos. You are correct. 100% Klaus Schwab is a Satanazi. He was a German Nazi officer. PRRD warned us all BBM was or is a cocaine addict. Has he dropped the habit? Human nature can be quite deceiving. Mula pa rin kay Jinky Bill, I hope PBBM will not go and join this Klaus Schwab or other leaders in Davos, Switzerland. Lahat ng bagay na pagkakakitaan, pagkakaperahan, pampahirap sa tao ay binabago o nagsisinungaling sila sa mga narrative nila. Mula pa rin kay Marcelia Cabatu, if what you're saying is true, then it's evil. It's good over evil. God, please save the world. Mula kay France Ayelin, yan, may 3 puso po siya. Hello, Ma'am France. Babae, lalaki. At mula kay Philip Doliete, sana wag na tayo sumama sa New World Order, Sir Itos. Yan. At mula kay Danilo Thailand, good evening po. Watching from Novaliches, Quezon City, District 5. Magandang gabi po, Sir Danny. At mula kay Brixton Ruel Francisco Morata, di ba po ba pwede i-question ang presidente kung ano agenda niya sa taong yan? Yung head sa
Pwede, dapat. Lahat ng mga media dapat nagka-question yan. Problema itong mga media, they're either, hindi. Actually, I worked in media for how many years? 15 years. I know I'm very good friends with a lot of the report. They will not ask questions outside what their producers want them to ask. And they will follow a line of thinking. They will follow a press release, that type of thing. Hindi sila inquisitive na, Sir, ano ba discuss nyo? Ano bang agenda pinagsasabi ni Klaus Schwab? What about Agenda 2030? Yan, wala po sa... Siguro si Cathy lang yung tanging taga-media na magtatanong ng ganyan. Kaya ang dami niya kaaway sa mainstream media, di ba? Pero right now, what we see is they do not. They will not. Alam mo yung mainstream media sa US ngayon, yung elections, binobola nila yung taong bayan, binobola nila yung mundo. Talagang sinungaling. The results of the elections, they're lying through their teeth. Ang problema, 90% sa atin naniniwala pa rin.
Yes.
Yun yung problema eh.
Tsaka hindi
Okay,
lang,
Kath.
ito experience-wise, no? Actually, not only me, but other reporters of KDP News ay talagang nakakaranas. Remember, merong isang event diyan sa PICC with at guest of honor itong si President PBBM, no? At alam nyo ba, may cordon sanitary. Ayaw nilang kumbaga parang scripted lahat yung questions. Tatawagin kunwari yung mga media, but it's already script. Yung mga gustong magtanong, hindi sila tinatawag because they know na baka mag-question out of the box at
Right.
yung mga hindi kayang sagutin o ayaw sagutin ng ating Pangulo. At sana kung nanonood at nakikinig yung mga nasa tauhan, nasa paligid ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, tigil-tigilan nyo yan. Huwag nyong baguhin nyo yung estilo ninyo dahil hindi lahat ng mga tao na nandyan, mga reporters na nasa paligid ninyo, sumasang-ayon sa ginagawa ninyo. Sir Itos? Okay,
Tama.
next, mga texters pa natin. At mula kay Luis Gerald, ako salamat Luis, ito ang napakasipag natin na gumagawa ng ating mga materials dito sa ating Katipunan channel. Of course, sabi niya, Jose Concepcion III was in Davos, Switzerland before 4WEF in 2000. Na-research ko yan. Good evening po sa inyo. Mula kay Matt DuST, we must never apologize for BBM's weakness, indecisive, wishy-washy mentality. My God, he is 65 years old. He's not a little spoiled kid, but a grown-up and an elected president who must be responsible for his actions. I never agree with the fanatics who protect quote-unquote BBM from his folly of stupidities. True ethos, 100% climate change hoax. It's a hoax that the one world government for more control the masses by vaccination, climate change narrative, hashtag Green New Deal, etc. Mula kay Freddy Uridina, yan, naka-check-in siya, present. Mula kay Tinoco, ang baka po ay high biological value of protein of 84%, can treat high blood, strong bone, strong body. Ang Diyos lang po ang may kakayahan ng climate change, wala nang iba. At mula kay Nicanor Gatchalian, kaya lahat nagtataasan, lahat yan dahil sa mga oligarko yan. Mula kay Loco Hoko, sir, ito sa pantangan mo? Paningin mo siguro, nung dumating si Tony Blair at Tedros last month, mukhang subservient si PBBM sa Kabala. Ang balita ko, 6 months daw kailangan i-deliver ni PBBM ang gusto ng mga kabal. Oo.
I agree. Kaya nga sabi ni Chairman kanina na parang if ano kaya ang pinag-usapan, pero may imagine na natin, pinupush tinatakot na ni Klaus Schwab si BBM na parang sumama ka na sa amin. Huwag ka na mag-arte-arte pa. Dito ka na sumama sa amin. Itong gusto namin gawin. Maglalagay kami ng bases diyan, at pag gumalaw na kami against China, sumama ka. Huwag ka nang magpa-cute, sa amin ka na. So definitely, ganun na sinasabi ni Tedros at itong gagawin mo. Kasama hindi mo malalaman yung pressure na nararamdaman ng isang presidente ng bansa. Right? And the pressure is from the outside. The pressure is really life and death yan. Ganun sila makipag-usap. So some presidents fight back. Duterte pushed back. It seems like he pushed back, not all the way, but pushed back enough. And the world leaders know this. Kaya yun ang pinapag-usapan nila when they get together na parang ito yung gusto mangyari, dito ka na, dyan. Lobby yan. Pare, ba't ka pa dyan? Dito na tayo. Talo tayo dyan. That's how they talk. So, I can imagine yun ang ginagawa nila kay BBM.
Mukhang tama ka doon, Sir Itos, kasi just like in local government, ganyan din, yung mga gumagawa ng mga ordinansa o resolutions, kapag taliwas yung sinasabi, sumanib ka na sa amin, umayon ka na lang kasi yung lahat ng mga gagawin mo, hindi matutupad. Okay, next messages. Mula kay Food Tech Buddies, pa-cute sila. Leader si Marcos, smile lang. Kasi 31 million botante niya, trapo talaga, brat at napakawi. Basta pasyal party at pasyal all at our expense. Short-sighted si Bongbong, so he is so S. Ano kaya yung S? Malala pa sa S. Kaya siguro nandyan si Carlos to teach him. Bakit siya nag-run as president? He is so ill-prepared. Change to parliamentary system. Advisor niya si Araneta. Abogada siya, pero but Sir Itos, the primary advisor, says no. Anyway, he has fooled millions of us. So sad, kawawa naman Pilipinas, wala na gagawa ang DA na si Marcos ang secretary. Para ba sa kanya punta ang mga commission sa imports? Gusto ata niya na importation, di niya kaya ang mga appointees niya. Paano na tayo? Mula kay Bush, WAC 12. Bata ng deep state pala itong si PBBM. Hawak ni PBBM directly ang agriculture. Siguro to make sure na the control of food against us according to his master's wishes. Mula kay Philip Doyete, pag nakontrol na nila mga tao, simulan na nila magtato sa noo. Nako. At mula kay Algo, good day. Hope that Katipunan Democraticong Filipino Group can meet the present administration. Just heard over the social media that PBBM is being invited by World Economic Forum. If USA has political swamp, we also have Philippine version of political swamp. At mula kay Virgilio Villanueva, I voted Sir Butch when he ran as senator. At mula kay Miss Ancho, Unfortunately, I don't think Bongbong has the balls to tell the US off. He takes his marching orders from his Western overlords. Tutang-tuta ng kano. Feel better, Sir Butch, with heart. Mula kay Matdu SE, true, there are no statesmen in the Philippines, not in the finest diplomatic level of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, China's Wang Yi, India's Jaishankar. PBBM is an unknown. 5 U.S. military bases are located in Cebu, Cagayan de Oro, Puerto Princesa, Palawan, and 2 in Pampanga, Central Luzon. The U.S. Pentagon said it will build 5 more. At mula kay Anazita Neri, pagaling po kayo, Sir Butch. Inom po kayo ng maligamgam na tubig at magsuob na rin po kayo. You will be healed in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Mula kay Dennis Estebal, agenda po kasi nila talaga ang depopulation, kaya wala talaga silang pakialam kung marami ang mamatay at magutom. Yun naman talaga yung gusto nilang mangyari. Mula kay Jovi Simbulan, tama po ma'am, wala talaga silang pakialam. Ang sahod namin na pambayad lang sa ilaw at tubig, pamasahe, tapos wala na kaming pambudget sa hapagkainan. Nako, napakarami pa nating text. Those texts are coming from the social media, of course, dyan din sa ating Facebook page at YouTube account. At syempre sa ating pong Zoom, meron din ako nakita kaninang text dito, message, at dyan na nabanggit ko na rin kanina. At sa lahat po ng it's already 8:57, 3 minuto na lamang po ang nalalabi at tuluyan na po tayo magpipinid ng ating palatuntunan. At sana po marami po tayong natutuhan at katulad po ng sinasabi ni Professor Butch Valdes, kailangan pong tayo po ay manindigan para sa katotohanan, para po sa ating bansa, dahil kawawa naman po yung ating susunod na henerasyon kung ano po ang maiaalay natin sa kanila. Baka nasa ilalim na po tayo ng lupa, nagagalit pa po sa atin ang ating mga kabataan, ang susunod na henerasyon, dahil wala po tayong pagkilos na ginawa at hindi po tayo nanindigan sa katotohanan. Diba, Sir Itos?
Correct. Okay. Salamat, Cathy, at salamat sa lahat ng sumama sa atin tonight. Sa ngalan ng tatay ko po, si Chairman Butch Valdes. At sa ngalan po ng ating mga katipon dito sa Ating Katipunan at sa magagaling na staff na DZXL Radio Mo nationwide, kami po ay pansamantalang nagpapaalam at nagpapasalamat na sinamahan niyo kami ngayon ng Hora de Peligro ng ating bayan at ng buong mundo dito sa Ating Katipunan. Hanggang sa linggo pong muli, mga katipon, 7 to 9 p.m. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you.